Ich erinnere mich gerade nicht daran, was das für ein Prank hätte sein können, aber no. It's just that I paid absolutely no attention to it then. And Senna reacted differently too, I think. Alisa. Kommt auf einmal so ein Alisa-Bild, bevor die Blende über, ne? Oh, ist das jetzt ein Flashback, wie wir Alisa rapen? Oh boy. I fucking hope so. Get off me! The pioneer's goes mumbled while buttoning her shirt, her tongue barely moving. Oh boy! The cybernetics club was bathed in the bright moonlight. On the table was lying an empty bottle of a tidy lake of vodka spilled around it. Ah! Wir springen immer hin und her. Das ist ein bisschen verwirrend, muss ich sagen. Also wir sind jetzt wieder zurück zu dem, den wir ganz am Anfang waren. Wir sind vom Bus gestiegen, haben halt richtig dominiert bei Olga. Haben das Kompott über Senja geschüttet, sind dann auf den Platz, haben da eine fett abgesmoked, dann ist sie gekommen und dann haben wir ihr Wodka angeboten. Und jetzt sind wir hier. Und wollten sie betrunken machen und bumsen. So wie ich das jetzt gerade mitbekommen. Das ist doch nice, das ist doch genau die Art, wie man es macht, oder nicht? Also ich hab's jetzt so gedacht. My cheek was burning and the head was spinning so hard I couldn't even understand why exactly. But hardly because of the alcohol alone. Und was jetzt mit der anderen Route ist, mit Senja, das weiß ich jetzt auch nicht. Also ich schätze diese Flashbacks, die ersten zwei, wo wir mit ihr auf dem Dach waren, das waren schon wieder andere Zeiträume, so ein paar Loops voraus, würde ich jetzt mal schätzen. Wo wir dann halt, ne, so ein bisschen ruhiger geworden sind, etwas resignierter sind und mit ihr ein Mädchen gefunden haben, durch die wir die Loops durchstehen. Aber ich weiß es nicht genau. Ich finde es im Übrigen auch cool, wie da hinten die DDR-Flagge mit aufgelistet ist. Das ist cool. If you thought that I'm like that, then you can go to hell. The girl's fingers were listening to her. The buttons was jumping back and forth, but refused to go to its prescribed place. Yeah! I lost my temper, grabbed the pioneers by the hands and pressed her against the table and tore her shirt open with my teeth. Oh. Der Dude, Alter, der weiß, wie es geht, ne? Also. Like what then? Like what are you then? I'm asking you. That's not a rhetorical question. Answer me. I didn't want to change anything. It all suited me. I was living my accustomed life in my accustomed world, doing what I wanted. Why the hell would I need this novelty? You want this, I know. To go spill vodka with a stranger 5 minutes after you met him. Not like that, are you? To hell with all of you. Make everything how it was. I was losing control over myself, the situation, the world itself. Let go, it hurts. The girl was crying. But I was holding her firmly, and in a minute she went limp and closed her eyes, with only occasional hot and salty tears falling from them. Now, see, that's much better. I was roughly feeling her up everywhere, briefly, rapidly and loudly at that. Diese Beschreibung erinnert mich gerade so ein bisschen an so japanische Rape-Pornos. Es muss nicht mal ein japanischer Rape-Porno sein, es muss einfach nur... Auch es kann auch ein japanischer Cosplay-Porno sein, wo das Mädchen im cuten Cosplay ist. Und dann kommt dieser etwas dicke japanische Typ daher, der sie erstmal anguckt, als wäre sie der größte Goldschatz, den er je gefunden hätte. Und dann begrabt er sie überall und schlägt erstmal überall an ihr rum. Japaner, Alter, das ist so das beste Volk ever. Because you're mine. Because you're all mine here. The whole world is mine. But the girl wasn't resisting, and I suddenly lost interest, even felt disgust. And I don't need you. There are better ones here. Was? Jetzt gehen wir nicht so weit, Junge. Ich will jetzt mal kurz was sagen, ne? Niemand ist besser als Alisa. Alisa ist Top Tier. Ja? I let her go and slid down to the floor exhausted. The pioneer didn't move, only continued to sob quietly. I can have any girl here. Any, you hear me? And then I'll take the meat cleaver and... You think that didn't happen before? I was shouting. You think you can tell me what to do? This is my world, you hear me? Mine. You all don't even exist, I'm talking to myself. Stop whining. I lost the last bits of control over myself, jumped up and leaned all my weight on the girl. She seemed to be close to fainting already. I bent forward and whispered in her ear. You know what I've been doing with you so many times? Wanna listen? Oh no, listen now and I'll tell you. Suddenly I panicked. It has been an infinitely long time since the very beginning, but every second of it I've been living, was aware of myself as a person, was controlling the situation in this world and many before it. And for the first time I got a feeling that I'm disappearing, that in a moment's time I'll be gone. How can that be? It's me, don't you see? Don't you remember? You're a weakling. The girl whisper reaches me as if from another world. A pathetic weakling, and nobody. I will feel pity if you can't pity an empty place. I jumped back from her in terror. When the pioneer's face was frozen, a grimace of disgust, the tears disappearing as if they've never been there. She got up from the table, took a couple of steps towards me and stopped. Why are you telling me all this? Said I asked lazily, turning a page over. Ripples were running across the water. Both of us were swaying the leaves of a berg, with bright beams of the tiring midday sun shining through them. The birds were singing loudly in the grove, and the small bugs hiding in the tall grass were busily jumping on my legs. Well, why are you reading that book? Don't tell me that's the first time. I like to. See? You like to narrate and I like to read. On the other shore on the beach, pioneers were frolicking. Olga was running after Uljana, and in the middle of the river I distinguished Slavia, gold-colored head. Could she be swimming here? So what? What? What happened next? I thought you weren't interested. You are, though. Senya smiled. She spat in my face and walked outside, shutting the door loudly after herself. Ach, ich habe jetzt gedacht, die macht eine Revenge Rape. Das wäre doch was gewesen. And I was left standing there. What is this? What, is this it? The end? At some point I was waiting for it, maybe even with impatience. But it was so long ago that already I don't even remember. And what now? These dolls, these soulless dolls destroyed my world that I've been building my whole life? Just like that? In one day's time? I ran my hand over my cheek and saw my fingers covered with something wet. The night had long descended upon the camp, hiding the local pioneers under its cover, hiding their malice and willingness. And I was just sitting in the cybernetics club, my arms folded around my knees, slowly rocking from side to side. Maybe that pioneer girl will come back now after all she could. After all she could humiliate me much more strongly. Or even do something worse. But time was passing by and it was only the singing of the night birds and chirping of the crickets getting quieter. And dawn is near too. The camp will wake up and then start living its life that had suddenly become so unfamiliar to me. So langsam lässt wieder meine Konzentration nach, ey. Well, whatever. To hell with it. I got to my feet with some difficulty and looked at the empty bottle of vodka lying on the table. It will be nice to pass out now and wake up tomorrow as if nothing happened. Forget about today. Appear in a world I'm used to where the pioneer's behavior is familiar and predictable. And it all started with that little girl. She never cried before. Or maybe she did and I just never paid attention. Even if that's true, so what? What to become a weakling? What? Become a weakling? Feel sorry for that little shit? Go down to their level, even? No, I have to pull myself together. I left the cybernetics club, slamming the door loudly and breathed in the fresh night air. Strange, it didn't feel as artificial as usual. So where shall I go? I guess catching up to the pioneer girls and getting revenge for the spit in the face would be worth it. I would have never forgiven such an insult before and I won't forgive it now. There wasn't a single living soul in the square aside from a pioneer sitting on a bench. I paid no attention to him at first. Who knows how many retards dwell here, but he called out to me. Oh. Hey, Semyon! Who the hell are you calling Semyon, damn you? I hissed under my breath. But the pioneer wasn't calming down. He must be looking for someone, but she didn't go that way. I froze in place, but immediately turned around and quickly walked up to him. So you saw her? Of course I did. A disgusting smile appeared on his face. A grin even, a savage one, expressing only one superiority over their opponent. Spill it out then, we're not playing a guessing game here. Wait, what are you such in a rush for? Sit down, let's talk calmly for a start. I have nothing to talk to you about. The pioneer thought for a moment, then rummaged in the pockets of his shorts, took out a pack of Cosmos and held it out to me. Want some? This. Where did you get it? I don't remember regular pioneers selling cigarettes. Although so much has happened in the last 24 hours that has never happened before. I slowly threw out one cigarette and gave it the pack back to the strange pioneer. He turned it around in his hands for a while and then tossed back to me. Nah, take it, I quit. And that filthy smile again. To hell with it though. I need to go catch that insolent bitch. So tell me where she went. Why do you need that poor girl? Is she insignificantly small on the scale of the universe and maybe doesn't even exist in this one? He thought for a moment, then continued. Same goes for you. Are you sure you exist? And even if so, that your existence here and now is the real one? Maybe you really existed before and now you don't. Or you will exist in the future and at the moment it's just a doll standing before me. The word doll fired painfully in my head as if a 45 caliber Colt blew my brains out. Splattering the contents of the brain pan over the area. Yeah, and it's Slavia's turn to clean tomorrow. I involuntarily smirked inside. Who are you? The insolent girl that spat in my face had long flown out of my head to get over my brain. Who are you? I'm asking you. I grabbed him by the neckerchief and jerked him towards me with such strength that the damn red rag groaned and almost tore. But the pioneer only smiled. Calm down, don't worry that much, it's impossible to die here. You should know, you've done that hundreds of times. I jumped back from him in terror. This phrase, I've certainly heard it before. No, not even that, I've been saying it myself. A long time ago in one of my previous lives. Because you're a Semyon. And I'm Semyon, because you're me. What What the fuck was that? The bench and the pioneer abruptly zoomed 100 meters away from me, as if I was falling from a roller coaster. Only his disgusting grin remaining before my eyes. And then the world around was covered in darkness. Ja gut. Well, then I disappeared. Just like that. Senna kept her eyes fixed on the book, but the story seemed to start to interest her. Why not? The timely departure is a great skill, you know, and I'm master of it if anything. Timely departure is a great skill? Das heißt, er kann sich einfach aus der aktuellen Welt verpissen, oder wie? Junge, das ist, vielleicht ist er doch an irgendeine Maschine angestöpselt und kann Gedanken wiederholen. Ich weiß es nicht. Wäre cool. Yeah, you're a master of everything. She put the book down and hugged me. Sliver, who was clearly swimming in our direction, seemed to notice it and turned around towards the beach. Wait, I didn't even get to the main part. They're not here after all. I shyly turned away from her. Senya clearly didn't like that and moved away from me. I'm tired of these stories of yours. They're always all one and the same. Let me tell you mine for a change. And what about, I wonder? Like how I got here, for example. I've heard it 100 times already. Aber ich nicht! And I've heard yours 200. For Senya, Sylvanok didn't start with our meeting and the checklist. Because I always have and will have my first day of the session after she has already spent a week in the camp. Do you know that feeling when the time has stopped? When you can't die, even if you really want to? Well, yeah, like here in this camp. No, it was always easier for me here. People behave more honestly, probably no one really bullies anyone. There's none of, at the very least, that malice that was everywhere then before. Do you remember? I didn't answer. I can't just read books, talk to people. Someone needs me, someone considers me a friend. I have responsibilities. It seemed like Senya was ready to burst in tears. Alright, why am I getting... Anyway, this one time I just woke up because of the excessive shaking of the 410 bus. Have you ever taken that bus? I nodded. Well, I never did. We don't even have a bus routes with 3 digits in our town. I didn't really understand what had happened yet, and the girl sitting near me says to me, "Hi, my name's Slavia." Slavia? What's Slavia? Slavia who? Of course I was confused, but tried not to show it. Then we arrived at the camp and the things started to get stirred up. And then it happened again. And then again. Senya sighed. And I've seen you many times. You with Slavia, Alisa, Lena. She quietly gritted her teeth. But it wasn't me. We've been over that 100 times already and now you're starting again. No, not you. You're like peas in a pot. I was in your camps too, right? But she was not at all like the real me. Exactly. Distinguishing the original from the fake is not as hard as you think. Yes, because the fakes get renewed every time and the originals stay. It's not like that at all. As if you know everything. What does it matter? I hugged Senya tight and closed my eyes. Ich glaube, die Musik ist ein bisschen zu laut, kann es sein? Auf meine Ohren schon. I woke up covered in sweat, my heart beating like mad. The rising sun was unbearably hot, though it was no later than 6 or 7 a.m. by the looks of it. What the hell happened to me? The sinister pioneer. What was that? Maybe it was just a dream? A hallucination? Right now I'm ready to believe in that. In anything at all. Someone was slowly walking towards me across the square. I stared at him to recognize the camp leader. Blech. So you're at it again? She she said, threateningly, leaning over me. That made me get up from the bench and make a step back. And here I thought yesterday was just misunderstanding, and I'm just speechless. To do something like that to a girl. What is she even talking about? What girl? What does she need from me, damn it? At least the camp leader looked like usual. That calmed me down a little. So answer me now. You think you'll just get away with it this time? I'll call the police. I'll even take it to the secretary of the all-union consumal organization. She was puffing so much she even went red and started to pant. In my camp, you... In general, this behavior from the camp leader didn't surprise me one bit. But I felt uneasy because my mind was still returning to the events of the past night, leaving a depressing, painful feeling close to embarrassment about something done while in drunken haze. The strangest thing was that I didn't care about the camp leader shouting aloud a mere meter away from me. Shut up already, okay? Shouting like there's a fire. What do you even know about problems? You think you've got a problem here? Oh, our pioneer was always raped. What a disaster. Oh, dude. Ach ja. Ohne Scheiß. Könnte ich eine Erinnerung wiederholen? Ich werde, glaube ich, auch mal so drauf. Ich meine, man zieht ja keine Konsequenzen draus, ne? I grit my teeth and cast a menacing look at the camp leader. It sent a flicker of fear across her face. How about I tell about real problems, not those in your little imaginary world? Though, just go to hell. It's just a waste of time. On the other hand, I always have more than enough of the time. A frightful thought suddenly flashed through my head. What if everything will always be like this now? What if I lose control over this world forever? Any pioneer girl will be able to spit in my face at will, and the camp leader will get lecture me like electronic? But that's worse than death. Anyway, I gotta go. I flung at the camp leader, who still hadn't recovered from shock, and went wherever my legs would carry me. But really, what is death for me personally? It seems like I've long since ceased to understand the very concept of the idea. Because if I can't disappear, if I'm destined to live through the very same week in this damned camp time and time again, then maybe death is losing myself. Losing my power over the world, having uncertainty ahead. But that's even worse than the fate of any regular human. The life is a game, with an unhappy ending, and with no ability to save your progress. My life is a game, with no ending, with the ability to save. What would they call such a life? If only I could remember how is it to be a regular man. They would probably call this hell. In this particular cycle, where even the soulless souls humiliate me. Was war das gerade für eine Aussprache? Is its last circle. I was ready to lose my mind if only I could. All the thoughts I'd been diligently driving away from myself suddenly surged with a new strength, returning long-forgotten feelings. And who turned out to be right in the end? I was always convincing myself that I am right, not them, because I'm alive and they disappeared while chasing empty illusions. But they disappeared and I stayed. And who got the better part of it in the end? An already familiar snicker sounded nearby. Looks like you've understand something today. I know who you are. My voice sounded calm, but my heart was beating madly like never before. Oh really? It'd be interesting to hear. You're the same as me, a pioneer, but from another cycle. But didn't you always think that the others were no more after Semyon drove off on the bus at that time? You thought that you were alone now in all these endless camps? I could be wrong. Das ist schon lustig irgendwie. Also, es gibt einen richtigen Semyon, einen Obersemyon, möchte man sagen, ne? Und der ist anscheinend damals weggefahren, wie man jetzt gerade herausgefunden hat. Und wer sind wir dann? Semyons, bei denen der Loop nicht aufgehört hat? As hard as it was for me to admit it, that possibly existed. You? Wrong? Why? That cannot be. Whatever, what do you need? Did you just come to mock me for what I've been doing before? You're saying that as if you feel guilty. I don't feel guilty, and anyway, that's none of your business, just answer the question. Well, maybe you're right. The pioneer thought for a moment. Though it's a sin to laugh at the miserable. I suddenly felt a distinct desire to punch the disgusting smile off his face. After all, I'm a trembling creature. What do I have to write? Who allowed him impose his way in my world? Get lost. I shouted, jumped up and swung my fist at him as hard as I could. But my hand flew through a haze that disappeared in the air and I lost my balance, painfully falling to the ground. When the pain abated a bit, I felt as if someone was standing nearby. And indeed, from the brushes was peeping a sassy little pioneer girl. You got what you deserved. She tucked her tongue out. Her tongue. Her tongue. Guess you're not as brave with your peers? Oh, you. It was so unexpected that I even forgot what I wanted to say. Doesn't it surprise you at all that a man and just dissolved into thin air right in front of you? Well, things happen. Maybe it's some trick. It doesn't matter anyways. You got what you had coming. Not wanting to put up with these insults any longer, I abruptly jumped up and rushed at her. But the girl was skillfully running through the trees while I had to spend precious seconds dodging the branches that slashed at my face. Hillocks sticking out as well as invisible gillies.